Today we're going to take a look at a 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. This one here is finished off in Hydro Blue Pearl, and it's been provided to me by Benson Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. Definitely check out their website, that will be in the description below. They have a brand new facility here with a ton of brand new inventory. But let's go ahead and get into today's review. This model here is just under $63,000, and we're going to go ahead and start up underneath the hood, where you'll find the 3.6 liter V6 engine. This model here is paired to the 8-speed automatic. You can get a 6-speed manual as well. This engine here produces 265 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 260 pound-feet of torque at 4,400 RPM. It is rear-wheel drive with the optional 4-wheel drive system. It weighs in around 5,000 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 8 seconds with a top speed right under 100 miles an hour. And it runs off a 22-gallon fuel tank. You can expect to see the MPG around 17 in the city and 22 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 137.3 inches. Its overall length is 218 inches. It has a width of 73.8, a height of 74.1, and ground clearance comes in at 11.1 inches. It also has an approach angle of 43 degrees, a breakover angle of 20 degrees, and a departure angle of 25 degrees. With all that information out of the way, let's go ahead and start on the exterior of the Rubicon. We'll start up front here, where you'll see this has LED headlights that have a really nice design to them. On the newer models here, they integrated them into the 7 vertical slots of the grille, which I think is a really cool design. I like how it protrudes just slightly into them. And then you'll also see the turn signals are mounted on the front fenders. Just gives it a really cool design, just separating it from the headlights. This model also has the optional forward-facing trail cam, so you'll see that right in the center of the grille. I think that's an awesome option for off-roading, especially if you're the only one out there, you don't have a spotter. It allows you to see a lot more in front of you, which is really cool to see. This has the steel front bumper, which obviously gives you a lot more clearance. You can see the tires just behind them, just to give it an aggressive look. The fog lights are mounted down below. You have 2 red tow hooks as well. And then up top on the hood, we have a lot going on. You'll see a bulge in the center of the hood here too, just to give it a really cool design. Both of these pieces here are actually for the windshield, so you can fold the windshield down, rest them on there so it's not on the hood, which I think is really cool. If you're out on the trails or something and you want to fold it down, it gives you the option to do that. There's also a spot here that you can stand on, so for whatever reason, if you have to, you can actually stand there, which is pretty cool. And then just talking about opening up the hood, it's very easy to do. You have a latch on both sides that you just have to disconnect, and then you can easily prop it open. But let's go ahead and move to the side here, back to the tire. This runs a 33-inch tire with a 17 by 7.5-inch wheel. Very aggressive for this truck. We have mud terrain Wild Peak tires, just to give you that added off-road performance. Standard on the Rubicon is the rock rails, so you'll see that up underneath just to give you some added protection. You can see how large the fender flares are from the side, just giving it a really cool design. As part of the Rubicon package, you get some red accents. So you'll see Rubicon with all of the red outlining the letters. Gives it a really cool look. It's also down on Jeep there with Gladiator up underneath it. The side mirrors are finished off in black with the blind spot monitor. And then moving on to the doors, I'm not going to do this in today's video, but you can take them off. It's very easy to do. You simply remove this bolt up under here and this one up under here. This wire here is for your power locks, so you just have to remove that, and then you can easily take the doors off. So that is awesome that you can do. Going off-road or even going down the highway, it's awesome that you can do that, and I have been out in a Jeep with the doors off. It's such a cool experience to do. You have 3 different roof options. This one has the 3-piece hardtop, so you can remove just the front section of it and keep the back section bolted, or take the whole thing off, take the doors off, and have a nice open experience. I really like the side profile of the Gladiator. With the fender flares, it just gives it a really aggressive look. But as we make our way to the back of the Gladiator now, you'll see the backup camera right in the center of the tailgate, along with Jeep above that. We have the electronic handle at the top, and then this also has the 3rd brake light incorporated into the tailgate. Since you can take the roof off, normally it would be right in the center up there on the roof, but since you can obviously take that off, Jeep had to put it somewhere. I think it's nicely integrated just above the handle there. This has LED taillights along with a steel rear bumper. You have parking sensors in that rear bumper as well, along with 2 red tow hooks. Down below with the towing hitch, this has a towing capacity up to 7,000 pounds. And then you'll also notice too, on both sides of the bed, you'll see there's steel up underneath the sides here as added protection. So basically rock rails for the end of the bed here. With the exterior wrapped up now, before we go ahead and hop into the inside, the blue on the Gladiator looks so good. I love all of the red trim accents. Being the Rubicon, it just gives it a really cool contrast with the blue solid color. But before we hop in, I'm gonna go ahead and lock the truck. Double tapping this button on the key fob, this has remote start. So whether it's hot out or cold out, you can get the Gladiator up and running as long as you have everything on the inside ready to go. You can double tap on this again to shut it off, which is pretty awesome to see. But now let's go ahead with the key in my pocket. All I have to do is grab the door handle and it will automatically unlock. We can take a look at the door panel. You'll find black leather with red stitching. You have your lock and unlock with your release handle and then your side mirror adjustments as well. Down below this has a net for extra storage space, and then technically there are two grab handles. You have one grab handle to close the door and then one grab handle to lift the door up off the hinges. So it's nice how that's easily incorporated into the door handle, makes it very easy to maneuver these doors. As we take a look at the inside now, you'll see the black leather continues onto the seats. We have Rubicon in the upper section and then red stitching running down the bolsters. We have the manual adjustment for the incline and recline. You have some other controls on the side there. And then as we look at the steering wheel, it's completely covered in black leather with red stitching running along the inside. And then off and to the right side, you'll see all the cruise control settings. On the left side, you have your Bluetooth and voice commands. And then all of these arrows with the OK button right in the center will control the gauge cluster. So right now you can see the speedometer. We'll scroll down to vehicle information where you can monitor your TPMS and other vital information as well. We can scroll down to your off-road and you can see your sway bar, your steering angle, and then we have a pitch and roll meter. You have your fuel economy, then we can go down to your trip information, you have your engine start stop. We also have audio, any messages that you want to look at, and then the screen setup. So if you see right now in the upper right hand corner is the outside temperature. You can go in and configure that if you want it to be the compass or some other setting. It's very easy to go through. And then off and to the left side you can see your tach along with your 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive options. And then off and to the right side is this speedometer. I really like the small red trim accents that are behind both clusters there, because as you can tell the entire dash has that red trim to it. I think it looks very nice. And then to the left side of the steering wheel there's a speaker down below. This has a 9-speaker audio sound system. You have all of your headlight controls and fog light controls along with some dimmer switches. This has a 115 volt in the bed, so you can turn that on and off. You'll see one air vent along with another speaker and grab handle. You have a little bit of storage space in the center here. And then right in the middle is the 8.4-inch touchscreen system. It's very easy to go through. I like the fact that on the bottom is basically all of your presets. So you can drag and drop apps if you'd like to, which I'll show you here soon. But right now it's set with the media off and to the left side. We have the climate control, so just by turning everything on, you can see where you'd like the air to go, along with some other controls like your heated seats and heated steering wheel. I'll go ahead and go into the camera system. So you can see the tailgate camera, and then we have the forward-facing camera. Very cool to see that option. You can see exactly where your bumper is. So if you're coming up to an obstacle off-road, very easy to see. We have the temperature that you can slide for driver and passenger, and then the fan speed is down below. You have an off-road page, so if you use that a lot, if you are going off-road, you can replace that with something down below so you can easily get to it. And then with that on, you can see your steering angle, if you're in 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, if any of the lockers have been locked. You have an accessory gauge so you can see vital information. We have your pitch and roll, and then the trail cam. Over to the right side, we have the navigation, so you can view that and see the nav in full screen. Very good graphics on it. We have the phone, and then some settings that you can go through. Down below that, we have even more AC controls. You have the fan speed right in the center, your temperature, and all of the other controls, along with the heated seat buttons. We have the power and volume for the radio on one side with tuning on the other. We have a mute button down below along with the engine start stop feature. Traction control is right next to that. We have the parking sensors, a downhill assist control, and we can turn this screen on and off. You can just touch on it anywhere to bring it back to life. Moving down below to the center here, we have the window controls. Since you can remove the doors, they've placed all the controls right in the center. Off and to the right side, we have an auxiliary and USB port. 12 volt off and to the left side. And then down at the far right, we have some auxiliary buttons. So if you want to hook up ditch lights or a winch or something, you have places to put them so you don't have any aftermarket switches within the interior. I think that is a very nice design. And then off and to the left side, we have the locker control. So you can lock the front and rear locker or just do the rear by itself, and you have a sway bar disconnect. And then just behind that, we have your drive select for 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel high, and 4-wheel low. To the right of that, we have the leather-wrapped gear selector with the Jeep logo on the top of it. Very nice to see that with the release trigger right in the front. Off into the back side here, we have the manual parking brake that is covered in leather with more red stitching. You have 2 cup holders in the center along with a small slot right here for a phone or the key fob. And then looking at the center armrest here, it's covered in leather with more red stitching. There's actually 2 compartments here. The first compartment here is not very large, but you can see this is the toolkit to remove the door. So it's very nice that Jeep provides you with the tools to do that. And then looking at the center compartment, you have a good amount of storage space along with a USB in the back. Moving over to the glove box, you'll see you have a good amount of room for everything that needs to go there, along with a grab handle for the passenger. So if you're off-roading, you have a little bit more security there. As we make our way up top here, you'll see there's a pillar right in the center. This is part of the roll bar as well. You'll see a speaker on both sides along with some dome lights for the rear passengers. Here are the 2 panels in the front that you can remove. There's 4 different tabs that you have to undo for each panel. So there's 2 in the front and then 2 in the back side. You can see 1 there and 1 there. And then you can easily remove these panels. All right, so moving on to the back seats in the Gladiator now, you actually have a good amount of space. I'm 5'10", and I have about a foot above my head and then a couple inches in front of my knees. You'll also notice that there's a small storage net behind both front seats for anything that you want to place there. And then you have 2 air vents right in the center along with the window controls, and then a 3-prong outlet and 2 cup holders down in the middle. There's a back window here that you can easily slide open and close if you'd like to as well. And then just by pulling on this tab here, you can fold down the armrest along with the 2 additional cup holders. You can pull this lower section all the way up, and it reveals to you lockable compartments. So if you do have the doors off, you have hidden space where you can put items that you don't want obviously anyone to see. And then behind that, we have a small compartment to put all of your bolts from the doors, the roof, or the windshield. So when you take those off, you have some place to store them safe, so that way you won't lose them, which is nice to see. And if I do go ahead and fold up the other side, you'll see this compartment here is much larger. You have some small dividers in there along with their spare tire toolkit. This also does feature a full-size spare up underneath the bed, so that is pretty awesome to see. And then you can also fold the backrest down. So I'm going to fold the headrest down, pull on this latch here, and fold the seat completely flat, giving you a little bit extra storage space behind the seats. And now to finish up with the bed, one thing that I forgot to mention earlier is this has a soft opening tailgate. So all you have to do is grab the handle and it will automatically open up. This model has a spray-in bed liner, so that'll give you a lot more added protection for anything that you want to throw into the back. You'll see there are tie-down rails with the hooks provided, so that way you can tie down any items as well. And then you have some more tie-down hooks in the lower section. It gives you a lot of space. You can throw anything in the back here that you want, and it will definitely be protected. And then this tailgate is very easy to close. All right, so getting the Gladiator out on the road now, it's been about a year since I've been behind the wheel of one, but essentially this is a Wrangler with a pickup bed on it. And I have a lot of experience in the Wrangler, so I'm very familiar with that. Everything on the inside is virtually identical to a Wrangler Rubicon in this exact spec, minus not having the pickup truck, which I think is really cool. This is a really awesome, smaller size pickup that is off-road capable and beats pretty much every other pickup truck as far as being able to go off-road from the factory. You have factory front and rear lockers, larger tires, you have added protection with the rock rails and even the bed protection on the corners there, which are very vital to hitting off-road if you're dropping off of rocks or something like that. So it's very capable with the solid front axle as well. You have the steel bumpers front and rear. This is a very capable truck off-road. I wish I could do some videos taking the Gladiator off-road and even comparing it to my Toyota Tacoma, because that would be an awesome video to see how the differences are. What are the advantages and disadvantages to both trucks? But that's for another video. Let's go ahead and move on to the overall visibility. Being a pickup truck, there's hardly any blind spots. That's with pickup trucks in general. You can easily look over your left shoulder and look out of that glass. Same with your right side. The glass is virtually right there, so it's really easy to see all around. I have no issues with that. I can see the taillights actually stick out a good bit from the body, so you can easily see where the end of the truck is. I just noticed that. But as far as driving this, putting a couple miles on it, what is it like to drive the Jeep Gladiator or the Jeep Wrangler? It's very comfortable. Jeep has refined the JL from the previous JK model, making it more, I'd say, daily driver friendly. It's a lot smoother. It's more comfortable to drive on a daily basis. If you do have, or if you did have a JK, you can chime in and let other people know. I do have some experience, as I mentioned, but if you actually own one and drive it every single day, let everyone else know what it's like. But so far, it's a very smooth driving truck. and even taking this out on the highway, the Wrangler that I was in for a couple thousand miles. It's very nice. It definitely absorbs bumps differently from an independent front suspension vehicle. Having the solid front axle, I've noticed that it takes bumps differently and you feel them a lot differently. Not to say that's good or bad, but if you've never driven a vehicle with a solid front axle, it's just a little bit different. It takes some getting used to. But taking some of these bumps here, I mean, it's absorbing them well, like it would just any other normal vehicle. With this being designed to take the doors off and take the roof off, it's nice how everything is nicely integrated into the center here. You do get a storage bag. Hopefully you can see that in the back seats there, that you can throw the roof in and then put those storage bags in the bed there. So you can take them with you, and that way you can easily put them back on if you have to. I've driven the Wrangler with the doors and the roof off, and it is such a cool experience. If you own a Wrangler or a Gladiator and you've taken everything off, let everyone else know what it's like. It's just such a cool experience to be able to do that. It's just, since you can't do that in any other vehicle, basically, it's just a really cool thing to do. If you're unfamiliar with the Rubicon, this is the top trim level for the Gladiator, meaning you get the lockers, you get the rock rails on the exterior, you even get these nice leather seats as well. So everything is very top-notch for this truck, but at the same time, it's awesome how you can take this off-road. You have all-weather floor mats, so you don't have to worry about getting muddy shoes inside your Gladiator, but at the same time you have nice leather seats that you can easily clean. You have this center screen here that has a protective layer on it, so if you have muddy hands or something, it's not going to damage the screen or anything like that. So it's pretty awesome how you kind of get a two-in-one truck. You get a nice, luxurious, more daily driving vehicle, but at the same time, when you want to go off-road, you have all the technology that you need. So unfortunately, while most vehicles see the pavement more than they see off-road situations, this is definitely the best of both worlds as far as having a Jeep, having everything that you can take off, and then even having a bed that you can throw whatever you want in the back. So that's pretty awesome to see how it's versatile in both of those aspects. But I think that's going to wrap it up for my walk-around review and test drive behind the wheel of the 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. Huge shout out again to Benson Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for providing this truck for me today. Their website's in the description below. Definitely check them out. If you're not a subscriber to our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click on that notification bell as well, so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And it has a 22-gallon fuel tank capacity.